Welcome to my place of dreams, my spirit house, a city of ghosts.
I took a walk through this beautiful world. Felt the cool rain on my shoulder. Found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la. Sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la.
Hue in central Vietnam is someplace I've never been before. But it's still Vietnam. With all the things, the smells, the sounds, the details I love so much. First night in country, it's like sliding into a warm, deeply comforting, familiar bath. I've been all over Vietnam, a place I feel a special connection to. My first love, a place I remain besotted with, fascinated by. So back in Vietnam, one of my favorite places on earth, and all of the things I need for happiness. Low plastic stool, check. Tiny little plastic table, check. Ooh, something delicious in a bowl, check. In this case, a local specialty, com hen, clam rice. Sweet, meaty little local clams out of their shells, tossed with a wild swirl of mung beans, white rice, spicy green chilies, crunchy roasted peanuts, fried pork rind, and cilantro. And a similar variation with rice noodles. Got fish sauce with chilies in it, and whoa, that'll just singe your eyebrows off. Throw some chilies in. Hit with some hot clam broth, and you're on your way. I'm back in Vietnam. Shit-eating grin for the duration. A giddy, silly, foolish man beyond caring. And a cold local beer. Huda, my preferred brand whenever in Hue. Clams with pork cracklings. How could that not be good? This is the way so many of the great meals of my life have been enjoyed. Sitting in the street, eating something out of a bowl that I'm not exactly sure what it is. Scooters going by. So delicious. I feel like an animal. Where have you been all my life? Fellow travelers, this is what you want. This is what you need. This is the path to true happiness and wisdom. Located on the north and south banks of the Perfume River in central Vietnam, mountains behind, sea ahead, an arrangement determined by criteria both military and spiritual. For 143 years, Hue was the seat of power for the Nguyen dynasty, which ruled the entire country until the late 1800s, when the French started taking power and land under their control. The French allowed the imperial throne to rule nominally the center of the country until the end of World War II in 1945. Hue has been celebrated for its dynastic architecture since the early 1800s. Vast palaces, pagodas, and tombs. A center as well for the intellectual, artistic, culinary, and religious life of the country.
Oh yeah, that's tempting. It's around here somewhere.
This is Dongba Market, and deep inside, somewhere in there, is what I want.
My way of thinking in the hierarchy of delicious, slurpy stuff in a bowl, bun bo hue is at the very top.
Nguyen Quy Duc is an author and journalist who spent much of his childhood in Hue.
If I'm gonna die, if I'm gonna go in prison, they give me a last meal, this will be
it.
This will be it.
Let's do it, man.
Here, Kim Chow creates an elaborate broth of mixed bones scented with lemongrass, spice, and fermented shrimp paste. At the bottom, rice noodles garnished, nay heaped, with tender, slow-cooked beef shank, crab meat dumplings, pig's foot, and huiet, blood cake. Garnished with lime wedge, cilantro, green onions, chili sauce, shredded banana blossoms, and mung bean sprouts, it's a wonder of flavor and texture. The greatest soup in the world.
Look at that, man. That is just unbelievable. Blood cake
Blood cake.
with the sauce.
Wow.
I want to see how much you put in there.
You gotta make it look really red in there. It has to be blood red.
And the broth is wonderful. People are put on earth for various purposes. I was put on earth to do this. Eat noodles right here.
When I was a kid, we used to tell each other, do not take a date that go out to eat this stuff, because you start sweating, your hair stick up.
Really? I would definitely bring a date for this, because if she doesn't like this, there's no hope of a relationship.
That's exactly.
You know, like if she said, oh, I don't know, there's like blood, there's icky stuff in there, that would be a relationship ender to me. I mean, I'm not kidding.
I mean, here you are having it in a market like this, but if she makes this in a place like New York or Paris, it would be real haute cuisine.
It just, I mean, this is as sophisticated and complex a bowl of food as any French restaurant. It really is just the top of the mountain. How long has she been here?
She started out when she was 12.
You live in a great country, man. Any country that could produce this is a superpower as far as I'm concerned. Man, I'm getting down to like the pepper residue at the bottom. How long does that broth have to simmer to get good?
Em ơi, cái nồi này mình nấu bao nhiêu lâu thì mới ngon?
Nấu bằng tiếng thôi thôi.
It's an hour.
Wow, really? I would have guessed like 14 hours. Happy, nice burning feeling around my lips, flop sweat, check. Happy. So we can pretty much cancel the rest of the show. I've achieved my happy zone. It's really all downhill from here.
My oldest friend in Vietnam, Lin. Originally assigned to translate, to guide, to escort, and to report on me back in 2000 when I first came to this country.
Lin, how are you, brother?
My brother.
Good to see you.
His responsibilities to his employers have never been an impediment to our friendship. We meet at Yin and Yang, where you pick your own seafood out of the tank and you cook it yourself.
You really do look exactly the same. You look good.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
You also the same. No trace of time on your face.
Dude, my hair is white. I have the pictures. I look completely different in 2000.
People told me that all the seafood here are from the lagoon over here, Tam Giang. Tam Giang Lagoon is one of the biggest one in Southeast Asia.
I'm going for some eel. Season with lemongrass, green chili, and pepper, drizzle with house special sauce, grill over charcoal, and dig in.
I have the picture with you.
Oh, you have some old photos? Oh, my, look at me. Come on. I look like my own son here. Look at this. I look like I'm 30 years younger. And that's...
My son,
Ming. Ming?
he's now 17.
Oh, my God. He's going to college soon. Wow. Oh, this at the island of Mr. Sang.
Tuần Châu Island in Ha Long Bay.
Hanoi.
Hanoi by the West Lake.
Oh, my God. Look at that.
This
We
is
look
you.
cool. We totally look cool here. But does everybody fall in love with the country like I did? I came here and it stole my heart, you know?
I think there's a very good meeting point between Vietnamese and American.
Yeah.
But in the past, it was over. And now it's a new time.
Wow, that's great. Dude, that's pretty spicy. Perfect with beer.
It stimulates more drinks.
Lobster from the South China Sea. Give it a nice haircut tableside, and it's perfect.
Sweet?
Sweet. Just like I remember back in Nha Trang.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm a sentimental guy, Len.
Sometimes at work, I try to be serious and I just think about work, but I don't know why. When I meet you, I just think about drinking and getting something good to eat. One more cheer.
Good to see you again, my friend.
It's been a long time since my old friend and I met. A hell of a lot of road with this guy. One of the great joys of life is riding a scooter through Vietnam. To be part of this mysterious, thrilling, beautiful choreography. Thousands upon thousands of people, families, friends, lovers, each an individual story glimpsed for a second or two in passing, sliding alongside, pouring like a torrent through the city. A flowing, gorgeous thing. As you ride, you not only see but overhear 100 intimate moments in miniature. You smell wonderful unnamed things cooking, issuing from storefronts and food stalls. The sounds of beeping, laughing, announcements from speakers, the putt-putt and roar of a million tiny engines. Hui's place in history, long regarded as the heart of the Imperial dynasty, changed forever during the Vietnam War. In 1968, Hue became the site of some of the most bitter fighting of the war. During the Lunar New Year, the Tet holidays, when usually there was a cessation of hostilities, more than 100 cities all over South Vietnam were attacked by the North Vietnamese and VC. Hue quickly fell. You have seen these images. It was footage like this that turned finally a great part of the American public against the war. The U.S. Marines fought house to house to retake the city, a vicious 3.5-week-long battle. Eventually, artillery and air support were called in. The city was saved, and of course, largely destroyed in the saving. The civilian population caught in the crossfire were equally devastated. The North Vietnamese, to their enduring shame, had, while controlling the city, rounded up anyone seen as a potential enemy and either disappeared them away into unknown prisons or killed them outright. Most notoriously when they massacred almost 3,000 people, rolling them, many of them still alive, into mass graves in and around Hue. Duc knows full well the horrors and heartbreak of that time. In his memoir, Where the Ashes Are, The Odyssey of an American Family, he captures the terror of a 9-year-old boy, the son of a high-ranking South Vietnamese civil servant, caught up in the nightmare of war.
Where were you in 1968?
I was at the place where it's now a hotel. My parents were staying there. We were staying there. It was surrounded during the night. We didn't even know. My father looked out the window, just thought it was South Vietnamese soldiers. Everybody was surprised. In those days, we thought of the war as something happening out in the battlefields, in the mountains, out in the countryside. And all of a sudden, you come here and there's the flag of the National Liberation Front. And to see that was a complete shock. So we stayed for a week in the basement, and the American soldiers came. By that time, they had marched my father away, the North Vietnamese soldiers. We didn't know where he was taken to, and we had no idea whether he was alive or not. My mother went out to the mass graves when they were discovered, and she saw the bodies in there, and she's like, I can't go there and look for him.
A lot of people died here.
You can't help thinking about these people who died when they're young, who died for no reason, who just got caught in the firefights. We have the Day of the Dead here, the Day of the Wandering Souls, and we honor those who are not buried within their home village, are not taken care of, their spirits are not taken care of. There are families here who don't have a death date, which is huge. A death anniversary in Vietnamese is when you do the ceremonies, you pay attention to the dead. You can't do that if you don't know when they really died. You just assume those people are just never liberated spiritually, that they're stuck in that space. It was like that for my father. Because he was in prison, we had no news for him. You couldn't set up an altar. You just hoped that he was alive. 10, 12, 15, your friends are going out doing things. You would just have this weight on you that your father is somewhere imprisoned or in the jungles. And that stuff stayed with me for 40 years in my mind. I don't know how many Vietnamese have that kind of experience. At the same time, I come back to Hue, my hometown, my family's hometown. I'm glad people are alive, people are living, things are happening, things are changing. We need to let the country open up and let the people have a moment of enjoyment, have a better life.
I mean, obviously I'm an outsider, but it just seems to me as a casual observer, you could pretty much survive anything.
That's what my brother reminds me when I used to get all upset about things happening in Vietnam. He said, look, it survived 4,000 years. It will do okay. And when you ask me to be hopeful, I'm hopeful because it's a young country. It's a young population that's energetic, and that drives me, that gives me hope, that makes me young, that makes me want to believe in this country. And this town, such a wonderful place to be.
Boy Tran is a painter and something of a throwback, an anomaly, a creature from another earlier time in the life of the one-time imperial city. She lives in an area called Tianan Hill, in a magnificently restored compound. These traditional wooden houses were once part of the regal style, with sloped roofs to handle the rainy Hui weather. But most importantly, they feature a garden at the center, which follows the Eastern philosophy that all things originate from a single source and expand in all directions. Since the loss of her beloved son, she's lived here, surrounded by her garden and her art. Occasionally, she invites guests and friends. There's Doc, writer and food blogger Lan, art collector Jean-François Hubert, and Philippe Damas. So this is your home, also a gallery?
Yes, I design and my people work.
She also cooks magnificently from a repertoire of Imperial Hui-era dishes numbering over 100. Back in dynastic times, the emperors demanded variety in wives, of whom they would sometimes have over 100, and in food. The menus of the 19th century imperial palaces boasted new dishes every night, small, flavorful, and beautifully presented. And that culinary tradition, which gave Hui its reputation as a food capital, continues today. How much of that persists, those imperial roots, that need for variety?
Dạ con, dạ mãi mãi, dạ con.
Yes, the tradition has stayed, and it will stay forever here to cook all these different things all the time.
We start with bird's nest soup, a delicacy to which I am usually immune. This one is unusually flavorful. These are swallows' nests from high up on cliffs near Nha Trang. They're soaked in water, cooked in chicken stock, and served with crab meat. Lotus seeds, a symbol of purity, nobility, and patience from a nearby lake. Steamed. Crab roe is mixed with red onion, pepper, and seasoning and added to the soup, and simmered.
Cái đặc biệt của Huế, riêng Huế thì Trân thấy là họ rất ít gia vị. Vì những cái thực phẩm nó tươi ngon và rất ít, giống như nhà Trân mà nấu ít gia vị lắm.
The symbolic and health aspects of many of these dishes not to be overlooked. This is fantastic. Lovely. How does Hui differ from the rest of Vietnam?
A wonderful architecture and very quiet people. If you stay some time in Hue, after some days you feel quiet. You take your time.
Yes, ở Huế thì đồ ăn nó phong phú hơn vì cái sông mình nằm gần biển và những cái con cá mà nó sống giữa hai cái dòng nước. Chắc anh biết ở cầu Hai nước ngọt, mấy cái chỗ đó là con cá nó rất ngon. Rất là nhiều cá ngon sống giữa hai dòng nước, cho nên ở Huế thì nó phong phú hơn.
Goi Hui is a traditional dish that's seldom made these days because of its complexity and the time needed to do it right. A fish stock is made from kabang, a fish from the Perfume River. Pineapples, onion, chilies, shallots, and coriander. A salad of quickly cooked prawns, rice noodles, ginger, red chili, garlic, and galangal. Layer of rice noodle, banana flour, then the prawns, garnishes. The strained fish stock is brought to the table with the salad in separate bowls and combined just before eating.
It's spicy for you?
No, it's good.
Seafood is very spicy.
Oh, no, I like it. What I found when I first came to this part of the world, Vietnam in particular, my palate changed. I needed an elevated level of chilies and heat. Much of Vietnamese cooking abides by principles of yin and yang, heat and cold. This one, a lobster dish with 5 spices, balances the coldness of the lobster with the heat of the spices. Red onion, ginger, lemongrass, and chilies are added to the boiling water to cook the lobster. Once the lobster's cooked, it's presented in a bowl of lime leaves. and the stock is poured over it.
Whoa, that's beautiful. We're getting into this with our hands, I'm guessing. I like this. It's beautiful.
The winter here is unbelievable. It's very cold and wet. That's why we have chili to keep us warm.
Boitron spoils all of us with a succession of dishes. But the past, as it often does in a place like this, intrudes.
Hue, it's dealt with a lot of suffering. The people in Hue are very withdrawn in some ways.
Smiling, but of course, they remember everything. They have to remember the war in 1968.
I was visiting my grandfather's house, and I got goosebumps because I knew during the war in 1968, lots of people were killed, and they were buried on all the sidewalks there. And I walk around there, and I feel it. It's dark, it's somber, and the history is there.
They say every meter of hay there's a dead person. My mom, she never wanted me to go home after like 10. She get angry if I go home at 11 or something. That scares me, so normally when I go home at 9, I try to go home very early.
Riding a boat along the river, you sort of feel there are things living in the water, in the trees, in the darkness out there.
Know your enemy, they say. Know who it is you're facing out there. Who are they? Why do they fight? What are they willing to endure in the furtherance of their cause? These, one would think, are simple questions useful in any conflict. Meet the enemy. Okay, he was only an infant during our 9-year-long war. But Kuyok Tan's experience should be instructive.
Sinh năm đó thì vào giữa năm 1967, giữa năm rất ác liệt.
In 1965, the United States initiated a sustained bombing campaign called Rolling Thunder, hoping to destroy an elusive enemy in villages like this one. Vinh Moc, which was less than 20 miles from forward U.S. Marine fire bases just south of the DMZ. This is where Tan was born. As the target of frequent bombings, the village of Vinh Moc moved underground, up to 100 feet down into darkness.
Sau khi mẹ ở đây sinh thì mình nằm ở dưới đây là 6 năm.
The villagers carved over 5,000 feet of tunnels out of the earth, creating a complex that would house all 90 families of Vinh Moc, 13 entrances and exits leading from the inland to the beach. Showing me through the labyrinth is Kom Tak.
And careful.
Born in Hue during wartime, she's since moved to the DMZ to work as a guide.
How did they dispose of all of this earth and rock without revealing the tunnels?
The craters, craters were everywhere on the like that landscape on the moon.
Right.
And the dirt of the craters are so fresh, look new. So they need to hide that, just leave them there.
This was the maternity ward where Tan was born.
And where did people sleep?
They have sleeping places, just hold like this, but smaller, 2 square meters only, just enough to put a bamboo bed.
Hồi đó là
Ở trong cái phòng
ở trong phòng đó là cả chúng em mình là 4 người ở một đố, vì mẹ với hai chị.
How long did it take to build?
20 months digging.
20 months of digging
hand.
by hand.
With shovels and hoes, it walk up. The farmer, they dug with their tool.
Right.
Under the bombing.
While the bombing is going on, they're down here digging this out.
Không sợ, đây là không sợ, vì đó mình chủ đất chúng mà tiếng nổ hắn khăn to bị cái sợ sập miệng nó trong này đang sập. Rung cái mặt này là bệnh này, nó còn hai bên này rồi này, muốn rung hết cả rung như thế, rung anh vì cái mặt này là đất rất dày, cái gọp.
Wow. How many children here?
Thời đó em khoảng tới hơn 30 người đó. Bởi vì nếu mà lớn lên là cho đi là 8, còn ai nhỏ dài rồi mới trên.
How did they play?
Bé nó chỉ đuổi nhau chạy lũ chạy tới đó mà lúc nào mà gọi về ngủ thì lom về ngủ.
So much of the time you're in total darkness?
Yeah.
You don't even you can't see your mother.
Some people, they say that even when the parents, feed the children, they need to turn their face and find their mouth and feed them.
Wow.
Children played here. But people also emerged from these tunnels to kill or cripple Americans, to shoot them, to plant booby traps. And that's what they did. 6 years in darkness. And at the end of the war, the people of Vinh Moc emerged from that darkness. And what did they do?
What was that like after living in darkness for so long? What was it like to come out and be able to spend the rest of his life in the sun?
Hồi nữa đi ra ngoài và trở lại với cuộc sống bình thường, anh thấy đó. Tại vì sinh ra trong địa đạo và ra ngoài trời đi.
Lúc mà mẹ mà vì cán bộ là họ cho giờ lên đất liền, là lên sau đất liền thì sáng sủa quá mừng như nữa. Làm lại nhà cửa, đi cắt trấn cột trái kèo nữa làm lại nhà. Đó mới đi biển, theo bộ đi biển, đấy chứ.
Thank you. Wow, ready.
Cảm ơn. Thank you.
Looks kind of like a mackerel.
Đó, bóc khăn đến hành ăn thôi.
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Last question, hypothetical. If the French or the Japanese or the Americans suddenly decided they want to, for some reason, come back, would he fight?
Cái đấy mà họ đụng chạm, họ gây mình thì là tất nhiên mình phải bảo vì con người mình là một, đất nước mình là hai nhé, mà họ đến tham quan hay du lịch thì vô tư vui vẻ thôi, có gì đâu.
Oh,
That's different. They're all welcome if they're tourists.
There are particular sounds that come with waking up in rice country. At Tamzang Lagoon, however, early morning is the end of the workday. As fishermen who've been out on the water tie up close to shore and sell their catch in the early mist. I'm meeting up with Lan for what she's promised will be a very tasty afternoon snack. Quan Bon Ole is set back from a quiet lane in the outskirts of town. It's a neighborhood place specializing in this. Bon Bayo, little pancake-like things made of rice flour, steamed in molds, and topped with crispy fried shallots and cassava paste and crumbled fried shrimp.
So show me how you eat this. What do we?
I had this when I was a little girl. So try to beat it up like this.
Right, I got it. Just cut around the edge here.
I feel so clumsy. It's been a while.
Fold it over.
No, it's just
Oh, it just. Oh, it's great.
This is so nostalgic to me. When I was younger, every noon, my mom asked me to take a noon nap. She said, if you take a noon nap, then I will buy you some bun. And I will sit there in front of our house waiting for
Waiting.
her. Yeah, waiting for her with a dish, an empty dish waiting for her. She will come and then my mom will buy it for me. You do a hairstyle.
Yeah.
At the end of the meal, we say who eat the most. Like,
Oh, so you have a stack?
Yeah.
That's way style? Good, I'm glad I'm fitting in. Ooh, what are they eating in the banana leaf? Are we having one of those too?
yep, we have everything.
Oh, good, okay. I don't want to leave anything out here.
Oh yeah, there's bon bot lock made of cassava or tapioca with pork and more shrimp from the lagoon, wrapped like a tamale in banana leaf, then steamed.
So even open the thing is also an art. In Vietnam, we still learn how to wrap the thing, and you learn how to unwrap the thing. So unwrap the thing is also an art.
Right.
Thing that you
Oh, really? I'm watching you. Let's get this right.
You do it right.
Oh,
You're
I'm doing it
perfect.
right.
I think you're an expert. Maybe the life before you was born in Hue.
In a past life? Yes.
Yeah.
So this is shrimp. Mm-hmm. Pick it up and dip, right? Very nice.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Oh, they're pretty too. Look at that.
But Lok is very honest. You can see through what inside.
You call this type of eating an choi.
Enjoy is like for fun or playing.
Recreational eating.
Yeah.
So it's not a main meal, it's a snacking.
Yeah.
Banh Ra meat is a delicious marriage of fried and glutinous sticky rice dumplings. It starts with frying the paste in cooking oil. Then, unpeeled shrimp are stuffed into dough. Place the chewy part with the crunchy part and sprinkle with chopped fried shrimp.
Oh, wow. Oh, that looks awesome. What is underneath?
Rice base.
Rice. Oh, okay.
But on the top is steamed, and at the back is fried thing.
Well, that's great. Oh, it's nice and crispy and greasy. I love it. Anybody would love this. It's just amazing.
It's a combination between the soft and
The soft and the crispy, crunchy. Delicious.
Last ride, a few miles out of town, whip across the rice paddies. Just getting from here to there, this part of the world, it's pure pleasure. I'm meeting my friends for a country lunch.
Related to
What's the specialty at this restaurant? You were saying chicken and baked in clay?
yes.
Another friend from the past, Ha Pham, Lynn, of course, Lon, and a new friend from Hue, Tan. A last meal, some goodbyes.
I have a question. What makes you stay so long in Hue? Because normally travelers, they come to Hue, they stay only 1 or 2 nights and that's it.
Really?
What's your impressions about Hue?
It's very laid back. The food's great. It's pretty. There's a lot to see. It's a perfect place to go if you want to take your time. It's beautiful to me. Food's coming.
Out here, there are a lot of dishes like this. Fill a chicken with lemongrass, wrap it in banana leaves, then cover with the muddy clay from the nearby rice paddies. Cook in the coals or a pile of burning straw if you like. Unwrap carefully, table side. Section with shears.
Smells so good. Make me hungry.
Serve with a little lime and salt, maybe some chili sauce. Squash, bitter melon, and morning glory greens for veggies.
That's good.
Some unexpected last words.
On behalf of people in Hue, thank you for your comment.
Thank you for having me.
We wish you would have a pleasant trip, safe and sound and success.
Thank you.
I learned many things from American. I still remember some poems such as Stopping by Goose on a Snowy Evenings. I can sing it.
Please.
Yeah. Sometimes drink a lot of beer, I forgot. Whose schools these are, I think I know. His house is in the village though. You cannot see me stopping here to watch his schools fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. Between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gave his harness bell a second to ask if there's some mistakes. The only other sound of easy wind and downy flake. And something like...
Bravo.
So we wish you have a good trip, have a good flight. Will you come back after you return to New York?
I'll come back to Vietnam, always. Cheers, everybody, and thank you, all of you, for all your help.
Cheers all the time.
This is who came out of the ground, out of the jungle, the darkness, when it was all over. And this is what they did. I went looking for the dream of Africa. I woke up in Tanzania.
I took a walk through this beautiful world. Felt the cool rain on my shoulder. Found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la.
The narrow streets and neatly dressed school children of Zanzibar's Stone Town make it feel like a very different Africa than I've ever known. It's tight, small. The architecture speaks of many layers, of a hierarchy long gone, but still evident. The famous Zanzibari doors, for instance. meticulously carved of mahogany and teak. The patterns reveal details of the original inhabitants' ethnicity and professions. Brass spikes evoke similar doors in India. The lotus flower, a historically Egyptian symbol, is meant to promote fertility. And chains, a reminder that this once was a central hub of the slave trade. What Zanzibar is today is definitely and overwhelmingly Muslim, 99% of the population. And you see its strong influence everywhere you look. The children in hijab coming from the madrasa. The streets are neat, and private homes, even of the very poor, are maintained with great pride. The call to prayer, 5 times a day. Zanzibar, part of Tanzania but also a semi-autonomous state, sits just 30 miles off the coast of the mainland.
The minute you cross the ocean from mainland, the minute you enter Stone Town, you feel like you're in a different country, and a different culture, different vibe.
Saleh Said is a native Zanzibari and former tour guide, and he knows his way around these parts. So, what are our options here?
This is what we call mandazi.
Mandazi, a classic Swahili treat, basically an African donut or flipper. And bahiyas, a fried lentil fritter, Indian, spiced with cumin, turmeric, and coriander.
Grab a cup of coffee?
Yeah, let's do it. If you live here, if you're from here, chances are you start your day with some bitter, spiced coffee, talk about the issues of the day. Politics, for one. Maybe a pastry.
You like yours?
Oh, that's good. So, you're born and bred here?
In Zanzibar.
How long has your family been here? How far back you guys go?
I'm half Indian, half African, and my mother's been here 4th generation.
4th generation, so that's starting out in...
Late 1700s.
Wow. Who built Stone Town? Who built this neighborhood?
The construction started in about 1830s during the Portuguese colony. We had Portuguese, yeah?
Right.
Omanis stayed from 1846. They left in 1964, but they lost a lot of power in 1896.
Confused? Let's take a step back. The Persians were the first major power to set up here back around 975 AD, expanding their empire onto the strategically positioned island. Then the Portuguese used Zanzibar as a hub for their slave trade and spices. Then the Omanis did the same, ultimately with the British, who ruled through them. 1964, revolution. As with most revolutions, the days following were violent, chaotic, and ugly. After overthrowing the mostly Arab government, reprisals.
It wasn't independence, it was revolution, where more than 3,000 Arabs were slaughtered, and a lot of Indians were slaughtered and removed out of this country.
But your family stayed?
My family stayed.
Why?
There was no money in the family for them to move out.
So it was just there was no option?
There was no option.
To stick with what was left?
Yeah.
Tough times?
Very tough times.
And about 2 hours from Stone Town, this is Jambiani, a tiny fishing village. Here, the first revolutionaries would meet and plan for an independent Zanzibar. Zanzibar's first post-revolution president, Abeid Amani Karume, served until his assassination in 1972. This, too, is Abeid Karume, grandson of the country's first president. Well, what was this situation back, the political situation back then?
Well, it wasn't good. Basically, it was the English
Right.
on top, Arabs in the middle,
Right.
and then the Africans way at the bottom. And it was a form of apartheid, you know?
Was this village sort of a center for revolutionary?
This village was important in terms of the political support prior to the revolution, when my grandfather and my grandmother were staying right here, and they had meetings on the field, right over there. Yeah. That's where they would have their meetings, to raise support for the African and Shirazi people, their identity. Its objective was to give equal rights to all people of Zanzibar. Of course, revolutions aren't the best thing sometimes when it comes to peaceful transition. Well, this is the house of Bwana Hassani and Bimwaka. They're preparing a wonderful lunch for us. Odi! Bimwaka! Kuna mgeni wako hapa. Mzee Hassani yupo? This is Bimwaka. She used to take care of my my grandmother many years ago. Jambo. Basi tunaelekea huko sasa.
I'm looking forward to lunch. Vinh Moc was a close family friend to Abid and his grandparents, and she's putting together quite a spread. Coconut rice, freshly caught fish called tassi simmered in broth of garlic and lime, topped with mchuzi, a fresh salad of chopped tomato, eggplant, cucumber, and potato. Another fish, kabua or mackerel, marinated in lime juice and garlic, then pan-fried.
Now this is good.
Whoa, that's looking good. So, coconut rice,
Yeah.
chapati bread
Yep, that's it.
from the other side,
Yeah.
other side of the water there.
That's it. This is cassava.
Cassava. Wait.
3 different types of
And
fish.
fried bread. Wow, what a spread here.
And you can use your hands.
Good. Fish I can do by hand. The rice, I'm gonna need help. Good.
What do you think of the muhogo? It's nice, huh? The cassava.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's very good.
The rice is great too.
Whatever your feelings on revolutions, it is probably worth remembering that they start in places like this, people talking. And when they are won, they are often won by people who sat at the feet of the original planners, people who look like this.
Look at all these kids. Watch out. Future revolutionaries.
Exactly. New ideas coming in that change things come from them. Think about it. I mean, the challenges we face as a small island country. I mean, doesn't the whole world face a similar challenge?
Yeah.
How to preserve all these things, how to find balance. For me, I see Africa as a whole. I see a very interesting time.
Hopeful?
I'm very hopeful, actually.
Optimistic?
I am optimistic. I think the Zanzibari people are great people. And if given the opportunities, I think they can put a lot on the table, not only for themselves, but also for the culture of East Africa, and possibly even the world. I think they're great people. Why not? Sky's the limit, right?
Say you're going to Zanzibar and people will tell you about the street food. It's pretty impressive. In Stone Town's Fordani Gardens, every night, vendors set up an insane variety of every iteration of seafood snack.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love some of that.
The first one here, we got tiger prawns. We got some shrimp. We have octopus calamari mixed with masala spice. We have a scallop, shellfish. We have a mussel, small shell. We have like a tuna fish, blue mali, red snapper, coral shad, mahi-mahi, and red snapper.
Good.
So welcome.
I think, let me try some of the octopus.
So how about lobster?
Uh,
Yeah, with masala spice, but it's not hot. When you feel hot, we give you
I
chili
like hot.
mango.
All right, good. Give me some chili mango with that. Okay, good. Octopus, chewy but tasty. Lobster's working for me. Too spicy for you, man. Yeah, believe me. Only one of us is gonna be shitting like a mink tonight. And it's not gonna be you. Ooh, the famous Zanzibar pizza. Awesome.
Carrot onion, beef, tomato fresh, cheese, mayonnaise with egg.
Sounds awesome to me. Looking good. Thank you.
Weird and wonderful and damn. These stands are extremely popular with locals and visitors alike, so of course the government raised the rents. One guy, Juma, decided to pick up and move his place a bit out of town. His customers came with him.
It's Juma.
Hey Juma, how are you? Juma. So, what are we having?
Yeah, your choice of beef on the stick, chicken on the stick, half chicken, and all the spices and sauces that they have here.
Right.
I've ordered beef for now.
Beef good. Now let's get half a chicken.
Half a chicken?
Yeah, sure. Juma's is famous for his chicken. Hey! The bird is slathered with a mixture of garlic, lime, coriander, ginger, salt and pepper. Then it's grilled and served either as satay or whole pieces topped with tamarind chili sauce.
Preparation for all this, they start in the morning, preparing, cutting, and then they come here at 6:30, and they finish about 10.
How many guys are working here?
There's about 6, 7 of them.
6 or 7 of them.
All around the table.
Wow, this is a big operation. Okay, he's finishing the skewers. I guess he's half cooking or saucing. He's reheating, finishing the skewers. That guy just does set up plates for him to top with meat. And then I guess they got the bread and sauce and finishing and to go also. What are they squirting on the fries?
There's hot sauce, there's ketchup, and there's tamarind.
They say you never go hungry here. There's always food in the street.
If you come here to buy 10 skewers, you'd end up actually buying 20 or 30 because somebody's always asking for food.
Right.
And you always buy. It's just a culture. No one says no to each other for food. Yeah,
There we go.
And you use the stick as your fork.
Hot, hot, hot. Oh. Where do you think the recipe came from? This is a real mixed up history here.
It's mostly Arabic, Indian components have been in it. The spices, most of the trees like mangoes came from India, pineapples came from Brazil.
Tamarind, Southeast Asia, like not even India.
You get in India.
Damn, that's good. Tell ya, the chicken's really awesome. Might need some more of this. I like the heat, man. Good stuff. Incredible. The 250-mile flight from Zanzibar across the water to the town of Arusha takes just an hour and a half. But culturally, you might as well be flying from Texas to the Philippines. Kilimanjaro, into whose white peak Hemingway's gangrenous hero saw himself disappear as he slipped into death. From there, we head into the Serengeti. A journey of this kind, one must expect the occasional setback. We reach the eastern edge of the Serengeti, where it's a steep climb to the rim of the magnificent Ngorongoro crater. Once a massive volcano that somewhere around 2.5 million years ago collapsed in on itself, creating this caldera. A true lost world. Inside the crater, an entire ecosystem within an ecosystem. Wildlife pretty much stay put. Coming to drink? Well, right below my place. It's nice. Very, very nice if you find yourself here. A hot bubble bath awaits after a long day in the bush. Perhaps a dry sherry from a cut glass decanter. The next morning, one rises to breakfast in one's chambers, on the balcony perhaps. Silver service, hot coffee, freshly baked croissant.
Morning. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Enjoy it.
The rules of the house, while slightly restricting, are sensible enough. And given the luxurious surroundings and the view, hardly a burden.
Not supposed to wander around at night here, unescorted. There's like lions and hyenas and elephants and stuff. And while I'm told the baboons can get rapey, there were no knocks on the door. You know, I know what you're thinking already. You're not gonna do what I think you're gonna do, are you? You're not gonna go out there and like shoot some beautiful animal in the brain. No. Answer, no. What kind of sick wants to shoot an elephant? Even the toilet has a nice view. This is pretty much what you see as you're sitting on the snakes. Idyllic natural setting and good plumbing. It's pretty much paradise.
It's nuts driving into the Serengeti. After a short while, you actually get used to the Jungle Book scene playing out in front of your car. It's interesting to see the giraffe and wildebeest, zebra. They all seem to hang out with each other, no conflict at all.
Pretty much there's no conflict in what they want to eat. It starts with the elephants, buffaloes taking the big stuff out. Zebras follow down, and then the wildebeest are the really close crop.
My guide is Colin McConnell, a fourth-generation African born in Kenya, who lives in Tanzania and knows this area like I know the deli counter at Barney Greengrass.
So this is the edge of the woodland here. Just about every tree you see here that's lying on its side hasn't fallen over out of choice. It's been pushed over by elephants. There's an elephant over there, guys.
Oh, yeah. Whoa.
There's a big bull.
Magnificent. Will he charge us?
No.
If we piss him off?
If we pissed him off, he would. They sleep so soundly, these zebra. You can creep right up and suddenly jump up.
Zebras and more zebras. So many you almost get bored seeing a herd of them. Giraffes looking only slightly irritated to be interrupted. And ever more massive herds, stadium-sized crowds of wildebeest, a fish concert of these unkempt-looking things every few hundred yards. All that's missing is the hacky sack.
Everyone's come to terms with now that the wildebeest migration means wildebeest jumping into rivers. With the fact that that only happens 2 months of the whole year, the rest of the year they're trekking through the bush. But to me, this is so much more spectacular. You see these big numbers. You'll be in an area this morning that was full of wildebeest and go there this afternoon and there's not one. They've moved.
Thousands and thousands of wildebeests on their annual migration are everywhere. A big circle stretched out across Tanzania and into Kenya in search of prime grazing. It's all about water and grass and a good place to make babies.
I mean, look at this little guy. He's keeping up with his mum.
Yeah, he's doing okay.
Within 15 minutes of being born, they're up and standing.
Right.
Running as fast as their mums within a couple of hours. There's a wildebeest that didn't make it.
How old is that, do you think?
A day or two.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
very
all.
fresh, very fresh.
Wow.
You don't want to get lost here. You definitely don't want to be on foot, outside your car, or injured, for instance. Nature, as they say, is a cruel mistress. it takes care of its own without mercy. The evidence of this cruel math called survival is everywhere.
Non-immediate family are not going to help a brother out.
No, you'd think, eh?
Start limping, first come the hyenas.
The hyenas see the vultures dropping.
Right.
That's a key to them that there's some food up. And the vultures really need the hyenas to rip open the skin to start eating it.
By the time they finished ripping out your soft parts, treating your femur like a chew toy, the vultures and the marabou storks, lovingly called the undertaker birds, have been waiting for their turn. I don't know about you, but whenever I have cause to reflect on a pack of hyenas tunneling into an ass and ripping out the guts, I think, you know what? I could really go for some pesto right now. By Lake Moc, we pause for lunch. Indigenous specialties like penne with pesto, steamed baby corn and snow peas, grilled tomatoes sprinkled with Parmesan. Oh look, brownies.
Well, those hippos are coming in close.
Yeah, they can smell the pasta. Or maybe.
They love pesto. They're coming ashore.
You're safe.
Over thankfully cold beers, I learn who is really the most dangerous animal around here. Yeah, that's right, Mr. Lovable Funny Hippo, always in a tutu in the cartoons, a vicious, unpredictable, and apparently incredibly fast-moving killer.
You know, you happen to leave here and go for a pee behind the tree there.
Yeah.
And come face to face with this hippo. A hippo would easily outrun you. One big chomp, big tusks go straight through you, chop you in half.
Just get between them and their mud hole and they'll be all over you like Justin Bieber's bodyguards. It can get ugly.
What do hippo penises look like?
I have no idea.
A hippo never emerges from the water with like a hippo hard on.
Not that I've seen.
Really?
No, they're underwater. I don't go snorkeling.
I find that comforting to know.
They are among the last great warrior tribes on Earth. Semi-nomadic, they believe that all the world's cattle are a gift of the gods to them, the Maasai people. They move with their animals across the Tanzanian plains, setting up homes where they find the best grazing. Their cattle are everything. The wealth of the family, units of currency, givers of milk to live, and on special occasions of meat and blood. The Maasai construct their villages or bomas like this as strategic hamlets designed to repel and discourage predators.
You have a lot of livestock coming in here. A lot of the other, like the migratory games, they've all taken off. So this area is quite famous for the cats, for the big cats.
The big cats, lions, roam free here, an area of the Serengeti called Ndutu.
It's the paradox. I mean, the lions are an enemy to them. They are a competitor, but they're also something that they greatly admire. It's the map.
Swedish native Ingela Jansson, a field biologist with the Serengeti Lion Project, is trying to find a balance between the needs, traditions, and basic identity of the Maasai people and the outside world's desire to protect these beautiful killing machines. This is what can happen when a Maasai warrior defending his cattle takes on a hungry adult lion. Nobody wants this. For the Maasai, being apprised of the comings and goings of the lion population is a useful thing. Preferable to find out in advance, one would think, and take evasive action, than the alternative. But remember, too, and respect that the Maasai have always defined themselves and their identities by their enemy, a tribe of proud warriors. What happens when there's no one and nothing to fight? Ingela has brought several Maasai onto her team to show them up close the lions they share this land with.
So often on my days out when I'm working with the Maasai, You don't eat at all. You get a cup of tea in the morning, and then if you're lucky in the rainy season, you'll get either fresh milk or this.
This is amasi, by the way, a lumpy, yogurt-like drink central to the Maasai diet.
Cheers.
Cheers. And before you say yuck, it might be worth noting that between their nearly 100% protein diet of meat, blood, and dairy, the Maasai are known to have near superhuman cardio, Olympic-level stamina and condition. They can run miles at a time without rest or water and can basically kick your ass at near any physical contest given half the chance. So help yourself to some sour, lumpy goodness. Not bad. A little honey, some raisins in there. Good to go.
It's so different here, like the rainy season, dry season, such different challenges. What do you think of going under here?
I'm okay with it. Currently, Ingela has been tracking two lions in particular, Ramos and Puyol.
Oh, Ramos is there. Safi. You see him?
I see, yes, I do. Yeah. There they are, I see them. Wow. Two of them.
Yeah.
You like them, don't you?
Oh, they're magnificent. They're very admirable. He's a bit of a warrior, that one. Should we try and approach them?
Yeah.
When you go for lions, you don't never drive straight on them.
Right.
You kind of go at an angle. That relaxes them a lot more. It's funny how they pretend they don't see you. They're so completely aware. So basically what we look at to identify them are the spots. It's like their fingerprint. Puncture wound in his face, that means he's fighting with females. Like if they fight with another competitor males, it'll be, the wounds will be on the back. It's too dangerous to go for the head area if they're fighting. The reason for the collars is to see how lions behave to cope with threats in the area, to show that lions and Maasai can actually stay together. They've always lived together. For the Maasai, one of the diminishing things for them is large rangelands. It's the same resource that a lion needs. If push came to shove and one part had to go, it wouldn't be the wildlife. That's bringing in far too much money for this country. So if they can show that they're actually fundamental to protecting this area and protecting the lions, well, then it's the better for them as well.
What's total population of lions, do you think, countrywide?
Tanzania probably houses 25 to 50% of the total population of lions, so it's an important country for it. And the last estimate is 30,000 lions remaining in. I think it's not so much the worry of the size, but it's the rapid decrease. We've lost large predators in the big part of the world. The world carries on. You would probably have other predators to take their place. You know, there'd be the hyenas, there'd be the cheetahs, there'd be the leopards. Of course, they couldn't take the big prey like the lion does. If you think about it that way, lions are a big show of an ecosystem that is healthy. They're important to that. 22 hours of the day, they relax. Just let me know when you've seen enough of sleeping cats.
And they are beautiful. Just a few miles from the crater's rim, Misigio village. About 400 Maasai live here. Olidorup is the chief. He has 4 wives, 12 children, a handful of whom are old enough to be out looking after the herds.
Where are you from, Tony?
I was born in New Jersey and live in New York.
Oh.
You have a son in New Jersey, yeah?
Yes, yes. He studied in one of the college known as the Montclair State.
Oh, sure. I know Montclair very well.
Oh, yeah?
Near where I grew up.
Oh, yes.
Wow, look at that cloud there. There's going to be some downpour. Well, do you think it comes here, Oldodoro?
No.
No?
No.
Yeah.
Not us.
It's funny, like they always know what the clouds are doing. Since the weather reports out here.
The Maasai have been migrating with the seasons since they came to this part of Africa sometime in the 15th century, long, long before the Serengeti became a national park. And here we run into the kind of existential conflict we'll be seeing more and more of as the world decides what they value most. Unspoiled expanses of nature, populated still with magnificent, wild, but aggressively protected animals, or the indigenous people.
The aim for our project is promoting coexistence with lions. So when I came here to start up Lion Guardians, but there were many among the Maasai that were very suspicious.
No. Why?
They thought this is going to lead to us being kicked out. That's a constant fear in this area.
Because in the past, the Maasai go to find the lion where they are, and they kill. But today we stop that. Or we can kill if no way.
If you have no alternative.
Yeah. That's why we have a spear. We are not hunters people, but we carry the spear all the time for protection only.
The Maasai, they trust that we're not here to kick them out, that we're here to work with them. And we're foreseeing that we're going to be able to start the Lion Guardian project, which basically you hire Maasai to protect the lions rather than kill them.
With all of the cattle the Maasai people have, how do you protect them from predators?
The animals are very smart enough. If you do not bother them, they do not bother you.
So well, how about when they're grazing?
When they're grazing, we have people who follow how to.
And that's enough
follow.
to discourage hyenas
Yes,
or lion?
Yes, but sometimes they're happy lions, so they're making allowed to show themselves that they are very happy. And the way to make that, they say, woo, woo, that's make you happy, you know. That's if they just like to catch something, you can hear very close, rolling like, and that stop. But that's allowed like, woo.
That's a happy one.
That's a happy one.
No problem.
No problem.
But that purring one, the second noise, that's not good.
That one is not good.
That's not a here kitty situation.
This one must looking for founding food, maybe.
Okay. Wow. My cat hates me.
Yeah.
Okay. This, a lot of you are going to find very disturbing. So, I'm guessing the little goat over there is about to get the bad news.
Come now. Don't touch like this.
I try and be a good guest. I eat what my hosts put in front of me. I try to take responsibility if something dies for my dinner. Stand here?
No, here. All this in the hold.
So when the chief asks if I care to do the honors and tells me how it has to be done, I'm not happy. In fact, as I close off its air passages, I'm struggling to not throw up on myself.
Yeah. Tony, do you know how to skin it? Can I show you?
Enough.
Maybe I can show you and then I can go ahead, okay?
The Maasai traditionally kill their goats by suffocation. For very good reason, it turns out. To keep the blood, which is a vital component for the Maasai diet, intact and abundant in the chest cavity.
We continue now to take the skin out so you can cut here.
Just right through?
Yeah. Oh, good. here now. You start like this. Good. Then continue like this. More. Yep. A little more. Good.
Good. Everything's intact. Beautiful.
This is blood, so all the blood stopped.
It filled up the cavity
Yes.
and started to get
Yes.
coagulated.
Yes, yes.
I get it now.
And it's easier now to take the blood out.
Right.
You see?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really, I've never seen that. That's
Oh, yeah.
super cool.
Yes. Someone like to drink fresh?
Sure.
Tanga mura rangkaina, rangkaina ino. Me hagana do be ne rangkaina be.
Hey, not bad.
Oh, it's good. People, they eat this one fresh.
That's a kidney.
Yeah. You like a piece?
Yeah, just a little piece. Deed done. It's time for a little kidney. Enjoy the spoils, then party. Sweet. Actually, that's good. I like them better like this than cooked.
Well, smelling good. Osinoni.
Osinoni, yeah, that's true. They're smelling good. I'm not too much of a meat eater, but this, I kind of like the goat.
Even on the Serengeti, it ain't a barbecue if there ain't some kind of beer.
Normally, the Maasai, we love honey. We have we call honey beer. You drink it just very strong. So we have here.
Love to try some.
I
noticed a palpable change in the mood.
We are not alive anymore. Yeah.
Say kwanza.
Welcome.
Asante.
Endorado.
Not bad.
Tasty. Oh, it's refreshing as well.
It's like a palm wine or even like kind of pulque-like taste also.
You can definitely taste the honey.
Yeah.
The sweetness of it.
According to our culture, everyone has carried a big knife.
Everybody's ready.
Yeah.
Many aspects of their lifestyle and traditions remain unchanged.
Awesome. Perfect.
This does not mean that Maasai don't have cell phones, by the way. Everybody does.
As you say, when you are talking that, how can we balance this? Because we're now looking to send our children to school, getting a good education, but we still stay in a very strong culture. Yeah, it's really coming like a hard time, but we continue.
Well, that's another question. You know, when your son comes back from New Jersey, you know, is your son going to want a motorcycle? Is he going to want a car? Is he going to want a flat screen TV?
I don't know for the future because, as you know, the children, they are very quickly changing their mind. Maybe one day coming as a New Jersey boy, I don't know.
It's beautiful, this country, this part of Africa. Geographically huge, but not really, as the world and what we need to live in it shrinks every day. Who gets to live here? Who or what do we want to see? Is, for better or worse, going to determine that. Nearly $1.5 billion is spent here every year by people who come wanting to look mostly at beautiful animals. That is an amount that is hard to argue with and impossible to outrun.